Hi guys, and welcome back to another Flies You Must Have in Your Fly Box. I hope you're enjoying this little series. I think I'll probably do another 3 or 4 and then we'll change tact to something else. But in the meantime, what I want to show you today is the competition special cormorant. Now this fly's put so many fish in the boat for me, I can't even begin to tell you. So without further ado, let's get into it. The hook in the vise then is a Hanak H200 barbless hook. This one's at size 10. It's finished in black nickel and it's on a heavy wire. The thread I'm going to be using today is from Semplify. It's a nano silk at 12 aught. As you can see, it's white. Now, as always, with these shiny black nickel hooks, I like to just get a little touch of super glue onto the shank. And the reason for that is wax just does not cut it. The correct technique just doesn't cut it. You've got to get something that's going to keep this nano silk from slipping on black nickel. And I use super glue. I suppose a touch of varnish would do the same job if you're not a fan of super glue. But come what may, you need to make sure that's bedded in there. Now, for the rib of this fly, I'm going to be using flexifloss. And I've got a little bit here. I think I've got the packet somewhere still. Sorry, it's got stains on it, but it's from the Celtic Blob Company. This was a limited edition one in claret, which I picked up, and it's very nice. Now, I've used various colours of flexifloss over the years that I've been tying this fly, and I find that the darker colours such as black, brown, and this dark claret's particularly good, are just a little more effective than the lighter colours like red and yellows and whatnot. I have tried, well, not all of them, but I have tried a lot of different colours. Now I've caught my flexifloss in here, as you can see. What I want to do now is start to stretch it out. Now as I come down, each time I come down a little bit, I'm just stretching it out a little bit further. Now be careful if you're ham-fisted like I am sometimes. You don't want to stretch it to the point of breaking, but do try and get it as flat as possible, and this will help with creating your body. So I'm going to come all the way back, right past the point of the hook here, you'll see, and then I can release that and it's tied in. Now I'm using white thread because it does make a difference when you are tying with different colour threads and you're going to be using pearl lurex, which I have here. So this is Vivivus. It's P01 in medium. Now you can use Mirage tinsel, various other tinsels, but this is what I used with the original, and it's served me well. And I'm a great believer in if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to catch this in. I'll try and get it the length of the body, just on my side. You can't see, but trust me, I've got that wrapped up there. So now that I've got my two components of my body tied in, I'm going to just get several extra turns into the front, and then I'm going to use the rotary function on the vise just to make sure I get good coverage of that body. Now I'm putting a fair bit of pressure on. I want this to be nice and tight onto the body, and you can see already I'm getting quite a nice effect from that lurex. We'll just keep going until we get up near the front of the hook, and hopefully my thread will come and meet my turns. And I've got that into place. Then I can grab this and trap it into place. Now it's called the competition special because it's a fly that I tied with competition fishing in mind, and it didn't disappoint, I've got to say. The idea came from James Gardner created a fly called the Minstrel, which was super effective up in Scotland, and I wanted to do something on a similar vein, but I came up with this instead, and It's served me well over the years. I was in two minds whether to share it again, although I've made a video about the competition special before. I kind of wanted to try and keep it under the radar because I still do the odd competition bit of fishing. So let's move on to wrapping up the rib. What I've got is the flexifloss. Now I've got it flat here, it's sitting flat. Now my first turn I want to get really tight. So I'm going to stretch that out, get it really tight. Now each consecutive turn I'm going to just ease the pressure. Now even with this macro lens it might be quite difficult for you to see, but the rib is actually starting to get a little thicker, and by the time I get up to the thorax area it should be just a flexifloss pretty much, without hardly any stretch in it at all. So my last turn there, proper, and then this turn I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to catch that in with the nano silk. 3 turns in over the material, then I'm going to get 3 turns in front, and then I can come in with my scissors and take away the excess. Now if I just left the body like this, the first time I caught a fish, the flexifloss would either move or it would be bitten clean through and just come off. So I want to protect that, and what I'm going to do is use Solaris UV Bone Dry to do that job. Now if you're batch tying these, which I sometimes do, I tend to tie them up to this stage, then I'll varnish or resin the bodies and then put them to the side, and once they're dry I can come in and finish the fly off. So I'm just getting my resin in between that rib, and I can already see the body looks pretty decent to me. I've got that segmentation I was after. I'm not sure how well the camera will pick that up. So just while I'm curing this, how would I fish this fly? Well, if you're at a small fishery, a small stillwater fishery, these can be fished on their own. Some fisheries only allow one fly. Certainly the small stillwaters that I visit, you're only allowed to fish one fly, and I'm happy enough to tie one of these on a 10-foot leader, 8-pound tippet, and just mix the retrieve up as I'm bringing it back. Now the reason it's called the competition special, of course, is I do loch style competition, so it's generally part of a team of flies, and this is one that would always end up on the top dropper if I was fishing a team of cormorants. Now although I often fish 4 flies, more often than not, if I have decided to go with cormorants, I'll only fish 3, and I'll fish 3 5 feet apart on a fast glass or a similar intermediate line, and invariably on the top dropper this would be the fly that I would have. So next I'm going to grab some maribou. I've got a little feather that I've been working with here, and this maribou is from Trout line. It's Turkey maribou blood quills, I think they call it. Blood quills in black. So what I want to do as a guide is the width of my thumbnail. So I'll just come in, just off camera here, and grab, and I'm just going to rip it off the stalk there like that. And you can see I've got quite a lot of waste here. I don't want to tie that bit in, so I'm going to just slick it back, and I'm going to remove this over my waste basket like so. Now before I tie it in, I've got a little ramekin dish of water just at the side. What I like to do is damp it down, and what that does is any little outliers are easily trimmed up so that you're tying in a nice clean head. Now I'm going to bring my nano silk over in a pinch and loop, it didn't pinch. And then once I've got that in place, I'm going to really clamp down on the nano silk. You don't want your wing coming out when you're tying it onto your cast. That can be very frustrating. So make sure you've got that clamped right in. I'm going to just cast off my nano silk now, and then I can come in with my blade and take away that. Now, as it is for competition fishing, I'm going to trim up this wing, and I would anyway. So this will easily fit within the gauge, and if you wanted, you could just finish this off now. I think it would still fish, but I want to add a hot spot. Now, what hot spots do is they will attract trout into the fly, and sometimes it will spook them a little and they'll turn away from the hot spot, but they will take the drabber patterns that you are fishing in behind the fly that you're using to attract. So what I'm using here is I've got some Glow Bright number 4. I have tried other Glow Brights, by the way. I've tried 5, I've tried 7, but I always keep coming back to number 4. It's just seems to work well with this fly. So I've caught that first turn just in above the eye. I'm going to get a few more turns before I come in and take away my rat's tail. Now, I don't want a huge head, but I do want it to be prominent. As I've said, the head is my hot spot. Happy enough with that. Then I can come in with my whip finish tool. Just do 2 turns. Don't want to get it. I don't want to increase the size of the head any further than it already is. Then I can take that away. Now, to finish off, you can use varnish. For ease of completing the fly in the video, I'm going to use the UV resin. Now, as you can see, with the Solaris bone dry, you can be very accurate with your application. So just come right around. I'm being careful not to get any of that resin onto the wing, because that will stop it from fishing correctly. Now, I don't think I have, but what I'm going to show you is if you've got a head like this and it's sort of slanted towards the eye, what you can get is the resin can slip into the eye of the hook. So what I do is just take a feather and pop that through, and I can see some resins come off, so I clearly did bog it off. Made a hash of it, but I've managed to clear that, and I can come in with the resin and just cure that, and that's the fly good to go. So there we go. I would urge you to definitely give this one a go. I think you'll be very, very pleased with the results. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.